Well, hello folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up that screen. Aitx, they had a bunch more sales. Very interesting. And I've also got some very important information. I brought in my Hollywood insider to update us on Steve Reinhardt's possible Hollywood career. So we'll be discussing that as well. But first, let's talk about all these sales. All right, so Aitx's subsidiary RAD has another large sale, 14 additional units, which actually makes the company that made this additional order is now their biggest company, just surpassed the other company, has 50 units that have been deployed. It says June 16th, Aitx issued a press release that the receipt of their largest single order to date, which was a total of 50 units, and I covered that. 37 of the 50 units were earmarked for a well-known Midwest manufacturer and were deployed at 5 of their locations. RAD now announces that after assessing the end user's locations along with the authorized dealer, the portion of the order that was 37 has now increased to a total of 51, consisting of 42 ROSAs, 5 RIOs, and 4 AVAs. For this single end user, RAD's dealer made the recommendations to the end user that the time was right to deploy RAD's cost-effective and proven solutions. And remember, it saves about 90% as opposed to having an actual security guard. And says the end user's comments were, let's not waste time refurbishing old technology. Let's go with RAD. Said, this is exactly what we'd love to see end users engaging, seeing the utility of RAD and partnering with their guarding providers for improved security and significant cost savings, said Mark Fulmer, RAD's president. Said, I expect that the other clients earmarked for the other 13 units of the original 50 unit order will also expand. So this puts that one specific end user as our single largest client, but I think only for a moment. I expect them to soon be our second largest client as our original client continues their nationwide expansion, said Steve Reinhardt. So that's real good news. We know they had a great June. I think they sold like 84 or 85 units in June, that was huge for them. The biggest month they've ever had by far. July was pretty good, I believe. I haven't seen the actual numbers for that, but I think it was a decent month. And then if August comes up strong, they should have a big second quarter, especially year over year comparison. It should be strong. And that'll be very helpful for this company because they now can handle these big orders, whereas before they really couldn't. So they're in a tough market. They're literally trying to invent artificial intelligence and security, combining it and making it affordable for companies. And it's not really been done before. So they're trying to do something that's not easy. That's one of the reasons I kind of root for them, because I like to see somebody go out there on the edge and try to do something that hadn't been done. And they may end up being one of the big winners in this. We'll see how it goes, but it's kind of hard not to see people wanting to save 90%. And the liability issues that go along with having an actual human being as a security guard is tricky. Whereas with a machine, you don't have to worry about getting sued if there's some altercation. So I think it's the future of security. I haven't decided whether Aitx is going to be the winner on that or not. It could be another company or a big, large company could swoop in, but Aitx is very interesting. The company itself is still sitting at 4.993 billion shares, and they've increased their outstanding shares by 1 billion. They just did that a couple of weeks ago. They have not sold any yet, but I think they had to wait 30 days for that. So we'll probably see this number go up, and they need to do that because their balance sheet had less than $1 million on it, and they need to have several $1 million in that balance sheet. And that was right here, the 921,000. So yeah, they need to have $5 or $10 million at their disposal to handle this growth. And I think they'll sell those shares in tranches. I don't think there's any way he'll try to sell it all at once. I think he'll just do it incrementally. That's the way they've done it in the past. And the short volume on this company is down under 20%, which is not too bad for a penny stock or an OTC stock. So, there's not a ton of downward pressure on the stock right now. So it seems to be stuck at this 1.2 cents right in that area. It's been kind of sitting there for quite a long time. And until we see that second quarter or we see some huge announcement or something, it probably won't bounce. Like I said, they might come up with a 100-unit order or something one time. That would definitely make it bounce, because I think that's what happened here when they had that big order. It went from 1 cent all the way up to 1.7. So, a 70% pop. And you could see that happen with this company. It's one of the reasons why at some point I'm going to pick this stock up, probably just shy of that second quarter, because when it comes out, I think we'll see a pretty good pop because the year over year should be strong. But prior to that, there's going to be some dilution, so I'm being real careful with this stock. Now remember, one other issue I've told you about is that Steve Reinhardt's and some folks over in Hollywood have sort of been hitting it off. And he's already auditioned once for the Pirates of the Caribbean, and then I showed you where he auditioned for The Godfather the other day. Well, now they're wanting to see if he can do comedy. So he did audition for a new Austin Powers movie that might be coming out. I know there's been a lot of talk about it. I do have the audition tape where Steve tried out. And I know some of you have been claiming that that's not accurate, that he's really not doing that. So I brought my Hollywood insider, my spy, and he'll actually be confirming this for me. Now, he's at risk of getting fired, so I do have to disguise him and his voice. But he's actually here to confirm it. But first, let's see the audition.
Very shagadelic, baby. Yeah! Oops.
All right, now that's pretty strong. I mean, he might be able to pull this thing off. I have to admit his auditions have been pretty strong. So now I'm going to bring in my Hollywood insider. He actually works for one of the studios. So, you know, he's been involved in all this. So, you know, here you go.
Yeah, I've been working at the studio for quite a while. And I got to say, Steve has actually been nailing these auditions really well. And he's done a good job. And, you know, what Mr. Frugal's been telling you has been spot on. So, you know, you need to trust him on this, that, you know, there is that possibility that Hollywood will be taking Steve Reinhardt's under its wing, and, you know, he could be a big star. So just keep that in mind.
All right, so there you go. It's been confirmed. So, you know, you wanted evidence, there it is for you. So I don't know what else to do for you. That's as good as it gets. You know, you watch 60 Minutes, you see that stuff all the time. And I had to fly this person in from Hollywood, and that probably costs a lot. So just keep that in mind. You know, I'm out of pocket here pretty good. And Steve has been trying to improve his videos, and I will have to tell him, look, you are the CEO of an OTC stock company. You cannot have high quality videos. That's against all OTC rules. Number one, they must be blurry. Number two, the sound's got to be marginal at best, and your lighting's got to suck. So if you keep improving your videos, you're going to get kicked out of the OTC because they will not tolerate that crap. You know, you're going to have to lower the quality. I know you're trying to keep up with the Frug. I get it, but just be careful, because the OTC won't tolerate it. I'm letting you know that. You know, watch any of the other OTC stocks. They all have crappy videos. It's what they do. So be careful. All right, folks, and that's AITX today. More sales for them, so that's cool. I like that. I hope they have another big month. That'd be great, and then have a great second quarter. I'd like to see that. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover AITX. And if this movie comes out, be sure to check it out, because I think Steve could do a good job, and you know, it'd probably be successful. So I hope you do like the content, and we'll see you next time on Mr. Frugal Investor.